Hi, my name is Bridget Hodge, and I'm a retail expert here at Fit Small Business. Today, we're going to be talking about visual merchandising and going over 12 tips to improve your store. If you're watching this video on YouTube, we have a corresponding article in the description box below. And if you like this video, be sure to subscribe to the Fit Small Business YouTube channel so that you never miss an upload. Without further ado, let's get into it. The first tip we have is to create a cohesive visual experience using color. The key here is to choose a color palette and then stick to it, avoiding using too many colors and creating a distracting environment. The hues that your color palette includes are up to you, but should reflect your brand and elicit the right kind of emotions. So for example, here we have a Menchie's yogurt shop. The color palette here is clearly green and pink, and it is carried consistently throughout the shop. Pink is a great color choice here, especially in this darker hue, as it is known to inspire feelings of hunger. And green also works in this space because it is associated with nature, calm, and the outdoors, the perfect environment for enjoying a tasty frozen treat. You can learn more about colors and the emotions they create in the full article linked in the description box below. The second tip we have is to draw attention to merchandise and set the mood with lighting. Your store's lighting scheme is a crucial element for making your space complete. Your lighting choices will create your store's atmosphere and help to define the mood your brand inspires. Not only that, but good lighting design will also draw attention to the products you want your customers to see and can even make a statement that sets you apart from the competition. As you can see from the images here, the lighting you choose creates an ambiance. The spa, for example, chose warm lighting to create a relaxing atmosphere, versus the pharmacy uses cool lighting to create a very clean and bright feel in the space. As a part of good visual merchandising, you should devise a lighting scheme that creates the mood you want to create and highlights the products you want to highlight. You can learn more about the different kinds of lighting and how you can use them to design your store lighting scheme with the lighting article in the description box below. Our third tip is going to be to use signage to direct and inform your customers. In general, good, effective signage will either accomplish one of these three things. It either highlights products or features, guides customers to a specific item, or shares information with your shoppers. If your signage isn't accomplishing one of these three things, it is best to ask yourself if it is accomplishing anything at all or if it can be removed. There are also a number of principles that govern good signage. These include keeping your signage concise and informative, creating a call to action, creating a visual intrigue, informing, persuading, or promoting, as well as not cluttering your sign with non-essential information, not leaving questions unanswered, not placing your signage low to the ground out of people's line of sight, or using purposeless signage to fill space. If you want to learn more about storefront signage and how you can use it in your space, you can check out our article on storefront signage in the description box below or in the article itself. Moving right along to our fourth visual merchandising tip, highlight products with point-of-purchase displays. Point-of-purchase displays are temporary digital or physical displays located around products you want to draw attention to or advertise. Retailers use them to either highlight product features, showcase deals, break up clutter, or draw attention to an exciting item. As you can see in the examples, point-of-purchase displays really make products pop in your space and give them a special showcase in your store. Typically, point-of-purchase displays are used to highlight new items, slow sellers, or best sellers, depending on what the objective of your point-of-purchase display is. When considering your own use of point-of-purchase displays, you should also be sure you are placing them in areas that can accommodate higher foot traffic and that the display itself is in line with your brand and space as a whole. For this reason, a common area you will find point-of-purchase displays is around the checkout counter or point of purchase. Along with point-of-purchase displays, you should also be using other kinds of displays, which brings me to the next tips on this list. Guide customers through your store with focal points. Focal points are a type of display that act as a point of visual interest that guides customers to places you want them to explore. So, a cluster of mannequins is a focal point. A table display can be a focal point. Even a product wall can be a focal point. The big thing is that a focal point should capture people's attention by creating visual interest and in turn guide them towards the area where they are positioned. Similar to point of purchase displays, but even more so with focal points, you should really be sure that wherever you position your focal point, that there is enough room to accommodate heavier foot traffic. Also, be sure your focal point is in line with your brand and highlights products or areas strategically. And on to tip number 6. We have direct customer traffic with your store layout. How your store is arranged can have a massive impact on the way that people move through your space. A grocery store, for example, uses rows of aisles laid out in a systematic fashion, which create a systematic shopper. Whereas a boutique with a more open floor plan, racks on the periphery and some displays in the middle, inspires a more explorational and browsing approach to shopping. Choosing the right layout for your business is a huge deal for your overall success. In general, you have 6 different layouts that you can choose from, and all inspire different behaviors and are best suited for different types of retailers. You can learn more about store layouts and how to plan and execute yours with our store layout guide that is linked in the description box below, as well as in the article. Tip number 7 is to use visual merchandising to tell a story. And what do I mean by that? Modern shoppers crave narrative from the brands that they patronize. It helps them give meaning to their experience and to your brand. In order to be sure you are telling a story and giving people some sort of narrative that they can glean from your space, you should first define exactly what your story is. Settle on what story you want your brand to tell. From there, you should ensure that each element of your merchandising makes sense as part of the complete visual narrative. Cohesion plays a major role in creating a discernible story. So, for example, here we have a Free People store. The brand narrative here is one of a girly young bohemia. Everything from the light fixture to the racks to the actual products makes sense as part of this narrative and work together to reinforce it and make it palpable in the space. This is the kind of narrative and cohesivity you should strive for in your visual merchandising storytelling. And that brings us to tip number 8. Use product placement to drive sales. Product placement describes a visual merchandising technique in which products are placed thoughtfully throughout your store in an effort to draw attention to them, so ultimately customers will be more likely to purchase. There are many product placement strategies that you can try out, including cross-merchandising complementary products, placing more expensive product options at eye level, adding impulse items to your cash wrap, highlighting slow sellers with your best sellers, placing best sellers in the front and back of your store, and bundling products to increase your units per ticket. You can read more about each of the product placement techniques we just went over in our corresponding visual merchandising article in the description box below. Moving right along to tip number 9, avoid empty space to increase your product exposure. While you certainly want to avoid overcrowding your store, one of the worst things you can do for your sales is not have enough product out on display. This not only creates a less engaging experience for shoppers, but it also lowers their product exposure, decreasing the likelihood that they will see something they like and make a purchase. You should strive to fill your space and leave no area unmaximized. My advice would be to go to each area and ask yourself these 2 questions. Is there anything I can add? Is this space missing anything? And then the converse, is there anything that I can take away from this area that will not take away from the sellability or the aesthetic of the space as a whole? Tip number 10 of this video goes hand in hand with the last slide. Organize your space to make shopping easy. We all know that when we are looking for something specific that we know a store has, the last thing we want to do is search for the product. At least for me, the burden of having to search for a product will lead me straight to Amazon or another online retailer. To avoid shopper frustrations and to make your and your employees' lives easier, you should seek to keep your store organized so that things are easy to find. This might mean tons of signage, or it could be as simple as categorizing clothing racks. It all depends on your products and what organization is going to make sense for you and your customers. The best thing you can do, regardless of products or space, however, is to create a uniform system that you can carry throughout your store for every product that you have. And now on to our penultimate tip. Connect with customers using seasonal displays. When merchandising your store to the best of your abilities, you should seek to make your design relevant to your shoppers. One of the best ways you can do this is by incorporating timely, seasonal, and holiday elements into your visual merchandising. This will not only better incorporate your brand into the lives of your customers, but it will also help you capitalize on seasonal buying potential. For example, On the right here, we have a display that a home goods store installed for spring. They have fun spring merchandise like candles and vases, perfect for the spring refresh that so many seek for this season. Then on the left, we see a Christmas display with fun holiday decor and ornaments that customers can shop. Both of these examples are great at reminding customers of seasonal wants and needs, as well as connecting your store to the outside world of your shoppers. And finally, tip number 12, entice shoppers with your window displays. Your window displays are the eyes of your store and will create people's first impression of your brand. They also have enormous potential to create interest and drive people into your store. For this reason, and because your window displays are the only non-shoppable, strictly visual area of your store, you should really focus on making them eye-catching and exciting. This, however, does not mean that you should stray from your brand image and mislead shoppers as to what they can expect from inside of your store. In fact, your window display should do quite the opposite and give people passing by a glimpse of what they can expect inside. A disconnect between your window display and store can cause shopper frustration and misplaced expectations, so be sure there is cohesion between the two. If you want to learn more about designing window displays that are eye-catching and speak to your brand, you can check out our window display guide linked in the description box below, as well as in the article. Well, that brings us to the end of this video and our 12 visual merchandising tips. Again, if you are watching this video on YouTube, be sure to check out the corresponding article in the description box below for even more information on each tip. And if you liked this video, be sure to subscribe to the Fit Small Business YouTube channel so that you never miss an upload. Thank you so much for watching, and see you next time.